CultureCon, how y'all feeling? So the McDonald's Black and Positively Golden Change Leaders program recognizes unsung heroes in our community. We're providing supporting leaders in their passion projects by pouring into them with access, funding, and opportunities like this one. I'm so excited to talk to the change leaders here today, and it's something I'm really passionate about as I was a change leader last year, so it's such an honor to be here and talk with them about their communities. So what does being a change leader mean to you all? Don't be shy, y'all.
For me, I shall get this thing started. For me, I feel like what Lotto say, rip her out the plastic, that's what it feel like.
You acting brand new?
I'm acting brand new.
I know that's right.
But like on a more serious note, I just really feel like it's like, wow, right? It's like a wow moment because it's like we're putting spaces, we put in conversations with people that I have never thought I would be in conversation with. And then to be like sitting next to them, it's like, okay, come through, right? So you asked me how I feel, that's really how I feel. But yeah, it's a one-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I really feel just so honored, so humbled, and so wholesome just to be here, so yeah.
Yes, and to piggyback off of that, once again, hello everyone, my name is Nyla Choates, and to be a McDonald's Black and Positively Golden Change Leader also just means the complete world to me. Being able to get the platform, the resources, the mentorship, it has honestly just been so life-changing and it had made such a great impact on my mission.
For me, what's up, y'all? My name is Andrew. The $20K that McDonald's gave all of us, it's pretty nice, but for me, like, what's more valuable is the connections that I made with not only these amazing chain leaders sitting by my side, and those the other chain leaders that aren't here on stage, but, having the opportunity to connect with them and really hear different stories, and because they're uplifting to me, like. So I'll be on the phone with Dorian. I'll be like, yo, bro, I have an idea at like 12 midnight. He'd be like, yo, tell me about it. So this is just such a great space, and I'm so blessed to be here right now.
So what is the change that you all want to see in your communities, and how are you going about it and being the change that you want to see?
I just want to see, like, be themselves, like, you know what I'm saying, be their own boss. Like, we all bosses up here, you heard? So I just want to say thank you from McDonald's who chose all of us to be a Golden Top change leaders. So I'm very thankful for you and my family right here. So you know what's up. So CultureCon, make some noise!
So what's one piece of advice that you would give to anyone that wants to be a change leader for the 2024 cohort?
So one piece of advice I guess I would give to anyone who wants to be a change leader for 2024 is to be authentically you. In the interviews and the conversations, the team is looking for you. They want to know what you want to do. They want to know the passion points that you have. So being authentically you, being you, and talking to them and letting them know exactly what you want to be, where you want to go, and exactly what your passion points are, and that might get you up on the stage with us next year.
So, for me, and I know, maybe for a lot of us here who work in the creative space or whatever y'all into, I've struggled a lot with imposter syndrome, right? So there were times where I felt like, oh, do I really deserve to be here? Do I really, even applying for this, I'm like, all right, let me just apply for it. Maybe I get it, maybe I won't. But I feel like you really have to break that imposter syndrome because we deserve to be here, right? Y'all deserve to be in these seats. The work y'all are doing, y'all are deserving of it. You need to tell yourself that every day when you wake up in the morning because that inner voice can block you from so many blessings. So I'm a big advocate for like hyping yourself up, showing yourself love, and yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Another piece of advice I would give is kind of like an extension to his answer is to just be passionate, right, and be purpose-driven because most of the time, if you saying you're doing something and you really not really having heart-to-heart moments with what you're doing in the work, you're not going to get up at 8 a.m. You're not going to get up at 5 a.m. to really do the work. You're not going to have those phone calls with whoever you need to have those phone calls with. You're not going to get the grant that you need to start your nonprofit, right? So just make sure it's something that's really tied into you, your story, and you on a roll.
Yes, and to also piggyback off of what both my change leaders said, do not let one no stop you from continuing to move forward.
right.
I have had so many different programs I had applied for, grants I had applied for, and I was getting so many no's. And finally, McDonald's gave me that chance. They gave me that yes, and I never gave up. Even though there were so many times that I wanted to, it was just like the saving grace of like, okay, keep trying now, like, keep trying. And look, now I'm up here with all these other change leaders.
That's right.
But yeah, for me, I just want to say, sky's the limit. The sky's the limit. So my mom always told me this, like, work on this, not this. Just be yourself. Like I said, just like figure out your goals, your dreams. You have a dream, chase it. Just believe who you are. Don't let nobody tell you what you should or should not do. Please.
So Dorian, I want to get into a question about you. So mental health is a passion that you and I both share. Talk to me about what inspired you to focus on that specific area of wellness for your organization, the Teen Care Network.
Yeah, so Teen Care Network, first, is a nonprofit that supports teens in mental health by providing them mental health resources and supporting their community as well. So what actually led me into this would be in 2018, living in New York City, there was actually a suicide of a 14-year-old girl in a high school. And it came after, she went through so many things in school, and the school failed to support her the way they needed to, failed to tell her parents what was going on so they can support. And ultimately, of course, the girl ended up taking her life. And in that moment, I was like, hey, this is not okay, never okay for someone to realize, or someone to come to the point where, they're at the end of their rope and the only option they have is to commit suicide or to end their life. So I decided that, we're going to start from here and create resources, highlight resources, and create spaces of healing for people of color, for places that we can come together and heal together because we know what we need to heal compared to, other groups of people and other groups of places. We know what we need to heal. We know what our people are going through, and we can work together through that.
Kamarie and Nyla, you both have prioritized education. In a world where our books are being banned and our holidays are rarely acknowledged, how can you encourage young youth to advocate for themselves for education and make sure that they're continuing to be empowered even if their schools aren't doing that work?
Yes, thank you so much for that question. So for you guys who do not know, a passion point of mine is fighting systemic racism in the education system. And really, this passion point of mine grew from when I was in school and I was opening the textbooks and I was only being taught the negative history of my ancestors and people that look like us. And so I felt like my roots were not rich. And this made me feel like I wanted to scrub my skin and look like my white classmates, straighten my hair like my white classmates, and just not be authentically me. But I think it's so important now to let students know that it's okay to raise your hand and correct the teacher. It's okay to open the textbooks and say, no, this is not right because it wasn't written by us or for us. And so I think it's okay to stand out, tell people to use your voice, and even if you are more of a shy, timid person, go find someone, go to administration and say, hey, this is not okay. Let's revamp the textbooks. So that's what I would say.
For me, just be loud. I'm a very loud person. Like, I swear to God, I'm so loud. And I love it here. I really do. So for all my loud people, hey. But for me, being loud really came from, well, I had to, of course, use it in a productive way. It's like, I was being loud in school. At first, I was like being loud on the flip side. Like, nobody was really listening to me. And then I had to start going to board meetings where it's people who are, these are the stakeholders, right? So I started being loud, showing up, going to the board meetings, and then I ended up applying to be the student board member in 2020, I want to say, 2021. And then I was the first African-American female to sit on the LAUSD board. And then I still to this day, I passed 2 resolutions. One is mental health is mental wealth. The other is the Mommy and Daddy and Me resolution, which is kind of hit home for me because it's like, basically, it's not supporting, it's basically supporting teen parents who are in school because my mom had me in high school and she couldn't finish and graduate. So I'm like, we don't need to be pushing these babies out. Let's help them, right? Let's give them the resources and let's not just say just because you had a kid, you need to be out on the streets, right? So these are ongoing resolutions that are still a product of me being loud. So I would just say, just be loud, be you.
Period. Andrew, you're the founder and director of the Accountability Initiative, an organization dedicated to advocating for safer communities and helping unrepresented communities seeking solutions. What's the particular moment where you realized this was needed?
Thank you for that question. So I'm a recent graduate from Temple University. I had my ceremony in May.
Okay.
Thank you. And during my time at Temple, you know, students will get notifications of instances of violence going on in our community. We would get citizen notifications, shooting here, 2 miles away from the campus, even like mad close. So there was a situation that happened in December 2021 where a Temple student got shot and killed. And, you know, that really opened a lot of students' eyes because for a long time, there were some people that thought they were exempt from the violence that goes on in Philly. Just because we're on a college campus, there's more police patrols, they felt exempt from that. But that really opened people's eyes as like, we're as susceptible to what's going on as anyone else. So I took it upon myself. I wanted to organize my first protest on Temple University's campus. Yo, I was mad nervous. That imposter syndrome I was talking about before, it was at its height. I was like, am I really the right person to be doing this? Like, what if no one comes? What if no one shows up? I was terrified. So what happened was I sent the flyer for the protest to one of my class group chats. And in that group chat, I had no idea. In the group chat, the person responded, and they said, Sam, who was the individual who got shot and killed, he was my boyfriend. He would really appreciate what you're doing right now. At that moment, it took me back. It brought me to tears because you truly never know how you're impacting someone's life. You truly never know. You know, so, you know, I would say that that's a moment that really stood out to me. And America has a problem with guns. I'm not going to go on a long tangent. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But I feel like this has to stop. You know, there's no reason why children should be going to school afraid to come back home without, like, am I going to make it back home alive? Like, that shouldn't be a problem. And, you know, we really need to do something about it.
Absolutely. So the theme for this year's Change Leaders is Start Something, Change Everything. And we're talking about why Gen Zs are so amazing. So tell me, what do y'all think about what makes y'all stand out? What makes y'all stand out? Because y'all be on the TikTok, dancing, educating the people in 30 seconds or less. Like, I learned so much from the Gen Zs. And like, as a millennial, you know, I feel like we're quite unique. Shout out to all the millennials out there. You feel me? I feel like we're wonderful people. However, Gen Zs, you guys are really doing some amazing stuff. So what makes you think that, how do you all stand out? What do you think is so special about the Gen Z generation?
So I think what's so special about the Gen Z generation is that, one, we don't take mess from anyone. We are, it's one of the generations that are like, look, this is wrong, and we're not going to continue to go with what's wrong. We need to fix this. And most, I guess what Kamarie was saying earlier, you know, living and breathing in wanting to make change is kind of what is fueling us. And for example, when we came down here to LA, and we came down through Skid Row, that was my first time. I've never been to LA, and immediately the first thing in my head was, what can we do to fix this? What can we do to fix this? Because as change leaders, our responsibility, our task is to leave the world a better place when we leave it. And that's what we are trying to do.
Yes, and I'd also say that what really gives me that motivation to keep going is when I see, so once again, I also have a children's book called My Roots Are Rich. Anyone who has any kids or nieces, nephews, cousins, check out My Roots Are Rich. And once again, like, with having a children's book and being able to walk into a classroom and read a book to these kids and have that one little black girl point to the book and say, she looks like me. She has hair like me. Even if it's just one student in the classroom, that fuels me to keep going. That fuels me to know that that little girl was literally me 5 years ago. But I unfortunately didn't have that representation. We were, you know, being read Dr. Seuss and other things like that, but no one looked like me. So knowing that we can give them that we can give them these leaders of people that look like them so they know that they can too, I think it's really what's really fueling all of us.
Yeah.
For me, I like to call Gen Z the microwave generation. I really do. I feel like a lot of things we do is very quick. It's very now. It's in the moment. And that's something that I really love about us. We live in the moment. Like, it doesn't matter from what we put on. Shout out to the fits, y'all, because I've been seeing some fits out there. And I've been telling them, like, they put that on for real, for real. But even from the fits, like, to the way we advocate, from the way we be on TikTok, everything is now. We're in the moment. And I really love that about us because it can go left or right, but it don't matter. We're not scared. We're brave. We gonna step up, okay? And that's what I like. Yeah.
So what does it mean to you all to have not just the support of McDonald's and We Are Golden, but also funding to be able to achieve your dreams in your businesses?
Oh my goodness, it absolutely means the world to me. Once again, I had gotten so many no's before. So many times I wanted to give up, and knowing that McDonald's was able to say yes, it fueled me to keep going even further, and knowing that I can now reach people globally about my mission, wanting to empower, wanting to inspire, wanting to educate people about our rich history, it totally means the world to me, and I'm just so forever grateful for this opportunity.
So, like, for me, like, as a trendsetter for autism, they don't have a look, really don't. So some people need to understand, like, autism has different levels. So they could be smart in their head, like their own brains. So they could be smarter than all of us, if you want to be honest. So just like when I open up the beauty bar, when I do like hair and stuff, like my mom, she owned a business like for like 30 plus years. So I've been like sitting there like should I do this or should I not? So I stood up, I just like played a mannequin, like I'd be bored. So like when you've been in the salon all day, just sit, just like look around, like you don't know what to do. So I would just stand up, just play a mannequin. It's like I've been doing like retwists, like do like natural style and stuff. So I was like kind of playing like, I just didn't want to open up a beauty bar to show everybody what autism really means.
Yeah.
And your hair is bomb today, girl. You are killing it. We're loving this look right now. So I know that you all have talked a lot about imposter syndrome, right? And so the beauty of CultureCon is that it's a brave space. So what happens for you all when you're feeling like you're, doubting yourself, not believing in yourself? What do you do to tap into that bravery?
I'm not gonna lie, I put on some Beyonce. Like Renaissance, I'm that girl. Like, come on, like seriously, music speaks to me, reading a good positive book and just looking back on what my ancestors went through, knowing that we can do absolutely anything. So that's what I do.
Facts. I think for me is I try to surround myself around like my friends, colleagues who like they're so good at uplifting me. They're so good at reminding me that like you have done so much, right? Like you have so much talent. And as I spoke about before, oftentimes like the voice you're telling yourself is gonna be the worst critic, And I think that surrounding yourself in a community, in a space where people uplift you is so important. Like back in like middle school, elementary school, my teacher would always tell me like the friends you surround yourself around will kind of define you. If you surround yourself around people who are like they're not really doing nothing, they're not motivating you, they just want to waste time, then they're gonna drag you down with them. So I learned to surround myself around people that are uplifting, are doing amazing things, and I'm really blessed to say that I have the ability to do so.
For me, I like to call my granny. I'll be like, Granny, I'm gonna need you to remind me who I am. Like for me, I go to Spelman and I'm from out here. And so it was a big challenge to like, I had to really get used to the South. I'm like, I don't know if I really like this. And I really did face imposter syndrome my first year. I hated it. I was like, I do not want to go here. I was home every other month. But she was like, Kamarie, you can't keep on doing that. I'm like, I can't, but I'm just going to still try to. So, yeah, for me, I just call my loved ones. Call on your loved ones, y'all, for real. Like, call on them, talk to them. They know you, probably more than you know you. My granny know me. She knew me since little to now. So I'm like, yeah, just call on your loved ones, making sure, you tapping in with them. They will affirm you till you can't get affirmed no more. Because she be telling me, Kamarie, you know who granddaughter you is? I'll be like, okay, well, back to Spelman I go. So, yeah, for me, it's just calling on your loved ones.
Yeah, I would say for me, my mom, she's like my top supporter. So I just like, she's the only one who actually be there for me, like throughout my childhood and all that stuff. So I was like, while I having like bad days at school, I just like, she's the only one I can talk to. So I was always like, hey mom, I do this, this, and this. She just told me to like, be yourself, just be yourself.
Absolutely, being yourself is important. And I also want to share this with y'all too, because y'all have talked a lot about, just how you're, doubting yourself and pulling yourself out of that. One of the things for me, even within the program last year, of like just being on different stages, right? Being in different places that I try to believe in for imposter syndrome is like, I'm a spiritual person. And so for me with imposter syndrome, I feel like that's like questioning God. Like, God, are you sure you want to give me these blessings? Are you sure I deserve this? And, I have time to question many things, but God is not one of them. He is not. And so with that, I keep that with me. And I'm like, anytime I'm questioning a blessing, that means I'm questioning God. And and who are we to do that, right? Like, so I don't have time for that. So just, wanting you all to keep that with you, make sure that you keep that in mind, keep shining. I'm so proud to see y'all up here doing amazing things within your own right. And thank y'all so much for this conversation and holding space for this and learning about them. They're all doing amazing things. And the great thing about McDonald's and their initiative is that it doesn't just stop here. It started with the inaugural class that I was a part of. Again, my name is Yasmin Jamila, and I'm the CEO and founder of Transparent and Black, a wellness collective prioritizing healing for the Black community. Thank you. And so, but the great thing about that McDonald's is it wasn't just the inaugural class. It doesn't just stop here. That next year, the 2024 cohort goes on, and so they're looking for change leaders, people changing the world in their own way, in their own corners of the world. So if you all want to get interested in the program, you can meet us in the Change Leaders Lounge and get to know us and meet the cohorts this year for 2023. And you can also go to mcdchangeleaders.com to learn more, to apply if you know someone within your community that's doing something amazing. If you got a little cousin, a little niece, family member, or even if it's you, just applying. And make sure you guys come see us in the Change Leaders Lounge. Thank you so much, CultureCon. And I'm so honored to have moderated this conversation. Thank you, y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.